In the previous class, we were discussing about the communication channels, and under which we started with onboard communication channel, and we done with inter-integrated circuit I2C bus, and it's working as well. Today, we will go with another important bus, that is serial peripheral interface bus. Now, a serial peripheral bus is a synchronous transmission and bidirectional transmission. It's a full duplex, and it consisting of four wires as a serial interface bus. Now, in order to understand the serial peripheral bus, so just you need to understand about what is the job or the important role that is played by these four wires, and which are those four wires. Okay, so in the and as I earlier told you that this was introduced by Motorola. Now let us understand that the requires this SPI requires four signal lines for communication, and we will understand which all those four signals for communication purpose in SPI. So now these are the four important bus, that is communication lines. So that is MOSI, that is master out serial the master out slave input, which means that output from the master input to the slave. That one line we will be having. So there will be master to slave transmission. Then if the line is coming from the master output, and there will be MOSI line here. From this it will be input to the slave. So this is master and this is slave. Okay, now signal carrying the data from the master to the slave. So that's what we call it as the communication line, master out slave in. So it is also known as, the other way we can call it as slave in and slave data in, or slave data in. So it is also called as slave input. So where the line is, the this particular line is, the job of this particular line is to feed the data to the slave. So hence data is getting input to the slave, hence it's also called as slave data in or slave input. The second important communication line here, so totally four important lines that we come across here. A line is nothing but a wire. Okay, another important wire is master in slave out. So the concept itself says, the statement itself gives a meaning here. So there will be master and another slave. So there is one more line now. There is one more line. So output from the master is fed to the input of output from the slave, I'm sorry, is fed as a input to the slave. So that's what we call it as master in slave out. So this is where signal line carrying the data from the slave to the master. Okay, so other way it is also called as slave output. This is slave in and slave output. And as usual, in SCL, where in I2C or I square C bus, we had a one line called SCL, that is clock, serial clock, and here we will be mentioning it as SCLK, that's it, which the signal which carries the clock signal. And okay, since if there are multiple slaves, and in case of I square C, the bus slave is getting selected based upon the address line. If address line matches the address that is sent by the master, if it get matches with the slave, corresponding slave gets selected. But here it is something like we select the slave, which slave, to which slave I want to send the data. That is, by sending active low signal, I can able to select slave hardware by sending active low signal. So this is how you can expect this in analogy. Means if in the class I will be asking the question, so whoever knows, those students will raise their hand. So that is the signal that I get to know that okay, these many students got to know about the answers. So that is the case in case of I2C bus. But here the faculty will choose the student, so and so USN has to give the answer. So this is in that particular way. It's what we try to you can able to pictorial, or you can have a analogy how this slave is getting selected in case of serial peripheral interface. Okay, now this is a block diagram, so where you can able to see this MOSI and MISO, master in slave out wire, master out slave in wire, and SCL. So this is one more wire to send the clock. So this is for clock. This is master out slave in wire. This is master in slave out wire. One more wire is missing, which is that slave select. So that is here slave select. Okay, so if there are so microcontroller will be knowing that how many slaves are there. So accordingly each hardware is getting a separate line. So I will be sending logic 0 on SS1, indicates that I am trying to select SS1, and I will be sending logic 1 for this. So which means that this slave 2 is not getting selected, slave 1 is selected. So that's how we try to select. So we are choosing a particular slave device. Okay, so here there will be no ambiguity, so which one to select. So if I ask the question in generally in the class, so many students may raise the hand, probably at that feels the ambiguity, like to choose whom. Similarly in case of I2C, if if there is due to ambiguity, sometimes if two slaves get the same address, so probably there might be a chances of getting selected two slaves simultaneously, and that will lead to a problem, and there will be a problem of synchronization. But here in case of we are having a much advantage in serial peripheral interface compared to I2C, as you can select slave hardware by by it is connected through the to the master by a separate wire itself. Okay, send the signal, select the device that you want. Now it's where master device as usual. So the job of the master device is to generate the clock signal. First point, once it once it generates the clock signal, then it is supposed to select which slave device it needs by passing logic 0 to the corresponding slave device. Then once again what is to be done? So finally, if master wants to send the data, then MISO device will be at the data output line. MISO of all the slave device will be at high impedance state when they are not selected. The point is, see if what about, see here, once I select slave 1, assume, so the slave 2 is also have the same line MOSI. So this will go to high impedance state Z because this slave is not selected. So that's what, if this slave is not getting selected, this will go to high impedance state. Okay, anyways, slave 1 is getting selected. If it is wanted to send the data from the master to slave, then MOSI line is getting selected, and then the data is getting transferred to the slave. Or else if it wants to read from the slave, then same thing. So MISO signal will be highlighted, so during which the MISO of slave 2 will go to high impedance state, and this data is getting read by the master signal. The job is very simple, but only thing is how SPI works is it works based on the shift register. So what do you mean by shift register? The data is getting shift in the data is transferred in the form of by shifting the signal. That's it. So during transmission from master to slave, you can go through the fifth point. The data in the master's shift register is shifted down to MOSI pin. So here the data in this is shifted to this pin, then it enters into the shift register of, then this data is getting enter into the MOS pin of slave device. So this data is getting shifted from this to this pin. Oh, sorry. So initially assume that the data is present here. Let me assume the data. Now this data is getting shifted to MOSI pin of master, this master pin, and through the MOSI line, this is once again shifted to another register, MOSI pin of slave. Okay, so assume that there is a simple register here and one more register, and these two register are shift register. The data is shifted here, and then this through this line it is shifted to the MOSI of slave device. Okay, the same thing is true with data reception also. Okay, uh, data transferring from slave to master. Initially, uh, the data from slave is placed onto the MISO, then MISO is getting shifted. This is also a shift register. Once again, from this here the data is getting shifted to this, then again it is read by the master device. At the same time, shifted output. Okay, that's what the last point, sixth point say about. Okay, so this is all about the working of SPI bus. Okay. The concept here very simple. You need to understand the job of individual wires. There are four wires. One is MOSI, MISO, and slave select. And as usual, selecting the clock SCLK. I hope you got this. So another important thing is universal asynchronous receiver bar transmitter. That's what we call it as UART. UART is generally used in many of the advanced microcontrollers. So this is basically a asynchronous method of serial data transmission. The data from the, so this is, assume that this is master and this is slave. So slave device is also having the UART, and master device is also having the UART. So from the UART, I am trying to transfer the data. To give an example here, so assume that um, you probably you might have worked on your, what is that, Arduino board. So when you see, actually the data is getting manipulated in the Atmega microcontroller. Okay, now, but many a times you will see the output in the form of statements. Say for example, if you want to read the temperature, the temperature data, the temperature, every 5 minutes you are trying to read the temperature, and that particular temperature data you are trying to display it on the console window, which means that you are trying to take it on your laptop. Say for example, assume that this is your Arduino board, and this is connected to your laptop. Okay, now you are trying to read the temperature of the room temperature. Now what you can do through this microcontroller, Arduino board microcontroller, one way is you can display it on LCD screen, or else you can also display it on your laptop console window, right? So now how it appears onto the console window? Because this device is microcontroller and your laptop is consisting of one another processor, which means that the data from your microcontroller has to be transmitted to the processor. The data transmission has to be done here. So in this regard, how the console window is going to display your data? So which means that the data has to travel from the microcontroller Arduino board to the processor, and from the processor it should display on the laptop. Now it is nothing but I'm using your laptop screen to display the data. Now in this regard, it transfers the data through a UART. Okay, so this is the communication channel that is going to be used, so that my data, say for example whatever the temperature is there, or else say for example you want to display hello world, very simple, I want to try display it on my console window. How it is getting transferred? So this hello world is a data that is transmitted onto the console window through asynchronous way, and the data is in a serial form. Okay, so in this is both are IC. Okay, how the IC looks like? So IC looks like internally in this fashion. It has packets where the data may be a minimum of 5 bit and up to a maximum of 9 bit data can be transferred, and this data will be in the transferred in the form of serial bit. Now in order to transmit the data, first I need to say that I'm sending the data, that is start signal, and once I send the data, I need to ensure at the receiver end whether I have transmitted the same data that is produced or not. So that's where we call it as parity check. The job of the parity check is nothing but to check the data, or to authenticate the data. And once again, once you transfer the data frame, then you need to stop. So once again there is a one more signal called stop bit. Stop bit may be a 1 bit or 2 bit of stop bit, that we will discuss in detail how this data is getting transferred through the UART. So that's what we call it as UART working. So you can observe here, this is a data bus and this is transmitting signal to the UART. So how the data is getting transferred here? So 0, it is moved as it is. So whenever there is a logic 1, there will be a small clock pulse, logic 1. This is the data bus, and this data is getting transferred onto the UART, and this transmission is done serially. Okay, we'll see the step by step uh, working. The first step, so this is the data. The data, the data will be the transmitting what receives the data in a parallelly. So which means that whatever the data that is present in your bus, that is received by the transmitter in a parallel form. Okay, next, while transmitting it adds three more bit, that is start bit, parity bit and stop bit. You can observe here, this is my data 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 is the data that I'm supposed to transfer. But before transmitting, I add one start bit, that is 0, and parity bit, that is one more 0 at the end, and last one stands for stop bit. So this is the UART gets the transmitting UART gets added with start, parity and stop bit. Then once again, while the next job is to receive, while receiving, what we need to do, we need to this read this data bit, and we need to discard all these start bit, stop bit and parity bit. That's what we are doing here. Minus the start bit, minus the stop bit, minus the parity bit. Whatever the rest of the binary numbers are there, that is your actual data. Okay. Upon receiving, once again, see here, once again, this is transmitter and this is the receiving end. This is the transmitter from one hardware. So this is, you can see here, this is a transmitter and this is receiver, assume that. Okay, the vice versa is also possible, no worries. So once again the data is received from the receiving end to the slave device is once again in the form of parallel, but we say that serial. Why it is? See here, while transmitting from master to slave, the data that is getting transferred will be in the form of serially. So this is start bit, this is parity bit, and this is stop bit. This is my actual data, 0 1 0 0. This is, this is how it is getting transferred. Okay, so while receiving, okay, so this is the actual data, that is how it is getting transferred. Okay, any doubts here? So the entire packet is sent serially from transmitting UART to receiving UART. The receiving UART samples the data in a pre-configured baud rate. What do you mean by baud rate? I already told you, the speed at which the data is getting transferred. So this is all about working of UART. So one more last concept from your syllabus, that is one wire. So one wire is again a asynchronous half duplex protocol, communication protocol, which is developed by Maxim Dallas Semiconductor, and it is also known as Dallas one wire protocol. So as it is developed by Dallas company. And one more important point about UART. UART was developed by National Semiconductors. Okay, NS is another company, and that was developed by National Semiconductors. Okay, and it make use of a single wire here to transfer the data, called DQ communication, for communication purpose. So again the same kind. Uh, the master device sends a reset pulse here first. So you can observe the figure, master and slave device. So there are two slaves. So there is one wire called DQ. What is the job of DQ? DQ is a single wire through which the data is getting transferred from master to slave. So initially it sends the reset signal to the one wire bus, on the one wire bus, and the slave device responds, which is nothing but giving an acknowledgement with a presence pulse. So these are the name that we have kept, that's it. Okay, and the master sends a ROM command, which is nothing but the data, that is the signal that is present in the read-only memory, to stating that it want to initiate the communication, because usually the data, the address is present in the ROM. Okay, which is of 64-bit of address, which is present in the ROM, that it sends the ROM address from the ROM. Later, once it sends the address, the master device sends either read or write function command to read or write the internal memory or register from the slave device. Okay, so obviously the job of the master device either to read or either to write. So if it you want to read, so read the data from the slave memory, or if you want to write, so write the data onto the slave memory. So then once again, once it sends the command of this command, then it initiates the read data or write data from the device or to the device. Write from the read from the device or write to the device. That's what the meaning here. So this is all about the operation regarding the one wire slave device. Okay. So this almost done with your syllabus of third unit, and I just want you guys to go through these external communication interface, that is RS-232 and RS-485, USB. So here there is no much details as given, like technical details are not much given for your syllabus. The thing is you need to understand that what is the speed of USB bus. So which I would like to give it as a small assignment for you people, so that take this, and you few of you can give the in the form of a presentation, maybe presenting your screen in one of the class. We will have the discussion so that students will able to read on their own and try to assemble some good information, okay, where these applications are involved. So probably uh, I need some uh, initiation and voluntaries from your end to take up these topics and make a small presentation, probably of 2 or 3 slides maximum, convey the information, and so that you also improve your what is that the kind of presentation skills and preparing the slides as such. Okay, thank you. Any doubts, feel free to discuss. No doubts. Okay, now just have another 2 3 minutes. Quickly just write a acronym of I2C, UART, SPI. I2C, UART, SPI. ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ರೋನಿಯಂ ಬರೀರಿ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಹಾಫ್ ಡುಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸು ಫುಲ್ ಡುಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. ಲೆಟ್ ಮೀ ಚೆಕ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್. ಗುಡ್. Whether I square C is a half duplex or full duplex. Quick. I think you started looking at some books or started in typing in Google search, right? Google search ಮಾಡಕತ್ರಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. Universal asynchronous receiver or transmitter. Next, very good. Next, SPI protocol. Many times what happens, students forget the in there in HDL lab, while having this Viva session, students we used to ask that what is acronym for HDL, and few answers that we would receive, like high definition language. Hmm? Hardware description language ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು high definition. HD stands for high definition because you are very used to it. High definition mobile phones, high definition TV, HDMI, right? Good. Okay. Now, out of these three, which one follow a half duplex and which one follow a full duplex method? ಹಾಫ್ ಡುಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಕಾಲ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಡುಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. ಹಾಫ್ ಡುಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ UART. ಗುಡ್. ಗುಡ್. ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ರಿಸೀವರ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟರ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಹಾಫ್ ಡುಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ. ವೆರಸ್ ಫುಲ್ ಡುಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಒಂದೇ ಇರೋದು ಯಾವುದು? SPI is only one full duplex. Very good. SPI is the only one that you have learned right now. SPI is a full duplex. Okay. Good. So ಈಗ how many wires in I2C bus you find for transmitting? How many wires will be there? How many wires in I2C? I2C ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ವೈರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಬಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ? ಟೂ wires, right? Good. Which are those? Which are those? ಅವೆರಡು ಯಾವುದು? ಯಾವುದು ಅವೆರಡು? ನೇಮ್ ದೆಮ್. Clock and data. SCL and SDA. Very good. Serial clock, serial data. Very nice. Very nice. What about SPI? What about SPI? How many wires will be there in SPI? SPI ಬಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ವೈರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಲೈನ್. ವೈರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಲೈನ್. How many communication lines do you find in SPI bus? Quick. Just now we have covered the topic. You should not take this much amount of time. 4. Any other answers? Any other answers? Which are those, Vijayalakshmi? Which are those 4 communication lines? Start, stop. Abhishek, you are talking about UART. UART ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದೇ 2 ವೈರು, ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ರಿಸೀವಿಗೆ. ಅದು ಡೇಟಾ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. I'm talking about SPI bus, not UART. SPI consisting of 4 buses, 4 communication lines. One is MOSI. What is that? Master out, slave in bus, and one more master in, slave out bus, serial clock, and slave select. Okay. Nice. Okay then. So even after, if you have any doubts, feel free to ask. You can put up in WhatsApp group. No issues. On from Monday we'll start with unit 4. Okay. Okay then. Thank you. Take care. Be safe. Bye.